Hi, my name is Esther Leininger. I'm a missionary to Peru, and I want to share with you about that. But first, I'm going to start with a story. There once were two boys that lived with their dad. Every once in a while, their dad asked them to do some things around the house. Maybe cleaning the yard, maybe weeding the garden, maybe cleaning the house, things like that. Maybe you guys have chores too. Anyway, one day, the dad asks one of the boys, let's name him John. He asks John, "Hey, can you go out and weed the garden?" And John says, "Oh, yeah, sure. I'll do that for you, Dad." But then he goes out and sits under a tree and plays around and does nothing to the garden. The dad goes out and sees that the garden isn't done. So he goes back in the house and asks Paul, his other son, to go out and weed the garden. Paul says, "No, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to." And he goes outside too and finds a place to hide. But he thinks about it after a while and he decides, you know what? I should go and do that. So he went and he weeded the garden. Jesus told a story very similar to this. And at the end of the story, he asked the people that were listening, which one listened and obeyed their father? That's a hard question, right? The first one said yes and then didn't do it. So he definitely wasn't listening or obeying. The second one, Paul, said no. And then he went and did it. I think it's best if we just say yes, right? And then go and do it. But Paul was definitely the one who obeyed in the end. God asked me to go to Peru. And before he asked me, he talked to me a lot about listening and obeying because he knew it was going to be hard for me. I didn't really want to go to Peru. But when he asked me, he had prepared my heart. He wanted me to go, and I knew he wanted me to go. And so I said yes, and I went. I obeyed. I want to encourage each and every one of you. God is going to have something really special for your life. He has a plan, and he has a special job for each of you. And I would encourage you, when he asks you to do something, say yes. Because even if it's a little bit scary, or a lot scary, or something you don't really want to do, he's going to make it the most awesome thing you've ever done. Peru is that for me. I have been so encouraged being able to work down there with people. I work in the Amazon along the Marañón River, which is a source river to the Amazon, the big one, right? The big river. And I just love it. The kids are so awesome and they don't have very much. They have very, very little. They usually play with things that you and I would consider trash. Bottle tops and different little things that they play with because they don't have toys. But they just love life and they have so much intelligence and they get so excited about things. I went into a village and brought some crackers, like soda crackers that you would put in soup, and they called them cookies, and they got so excited and they all wanted one. So I gave them each their own little package, and that was even more exciting because they had a package all to themselves. Usually if they get something like that, they all have to share in the family, so they would never have a whole package to themselves. The youth and adults are also really awesome. There are so many people here that want to hear about Jesus, and that's something you don't see a whole lot of. These people are so excited when you bring Bibles and materials to learn more about Jesus. I think about that in my own life and how little sometimes I've wanted to spend time in the Bible, and that's sad. And to see these people get so excited about it makes me want to get excited about it even more, right? Think about how many Bibles you have at your house, and maybe you don't always get into them every day, right? But these people, when they have a Bible, they read it because they want to know more about Jesus. And so that's part of my job, is to go around and share about Jesus with other people and share with them what it means to be a Christian. I go out to all these little villages where they may not go to big towns or see big cities ever in their entire lives, but they live off the land. They grow crops like yucca and plantain, which is kind of like a starchy banana, and rice and things like that. And then they fish in the river for meat, right? They get fish of all different kinds from the river. And sometimes they'll go out and they'll hunt bigger animals from the jungle. But you have to be careful of the jaguars and the spiders and all kinds of things when you're in the jungle. I want to encourage you, please pray for me. My name is Esther. I would love to have you pray for me and share about Peru with other people. Please pray for our local pastors in Peru. We have 14 local pastors. 2 of them are ordained, which means that they have a certificate that says they went through all the right classes to be pastors. And their names are Lucy and Gerson. And they need lots of prayer because they travel to all of our little village churches and share about Jesus with them and encourage what we call lay pastors, which is our other 14 pastors, or the 12 pastors, and share with them how to be pastors, how to make sermons, and how to lead worship, and how to do all those things that your pastor at your church knows how to do. So please pray for them. Pray for our villages right now with COVID. Things have been really hard on them. They haven't been allowed to travel very much so that they can sell their crops and so that they can make a living. So some of them are very hungry. And some of them need help. So when we go down to Peru, when I go down as a missionary, we help those people. We do disaster relief, which is basically helping people that when the river floods, they lose their house or their land. We help the kids to, we bring wells, clean drinking water into different villages too. So there's lots and lots that we do in these villages, building churches and things like that. So please pray for us. Have a blessed day.